to my subscribers. I pray that all is well. I pray you all are waking up in your glory this morning and asking God to make a way out of no way for you this day. You are blessed because you are waking up to a new experience and something amazing. I just want to say, give God all the glory on this Tuesday morning in February 25th as we continue to celebrate the countdown of Black History Month. And things have got busy out here. That's all I'm going to say. But before I go into my conversation, let's start with the Our Father's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thou you are the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Amen. I'm not going to stay too long on this. I just wanted to just come with some hurtful news. It's not good news to hear a sister like Joy Reid being canceled from her platform, okay, from MSNBC. Um, some of us who's been watching what's been taking place around the election of 2024, and a lot of stuff came out of Joy that wasn't joyful. It wasn't nice. A lot of hateful stuff came out of her heart and out of her mind. Excuse me. Out of her mouth to the community of Black people and also to public viewers on her platform. And me myself, I don't want to hear about a sister being canned from her job. It doesn't make me feel good to hear something like that. But it's like Joy been giving the warning. Okay, she was just going too hard on Trump supporters, and you know, especially going hard on Trump and saying things that were factual and true. You know, just on this rant. Okay, she was just like on a rant. And I said it a while back that she needed a sabbatical. She needed to take some time off and get herself some rest and feel that if this is what she feel in her heart about the elected president at the time, Donald J. Trump, or is this something somebody else is making her feel or saying to her to make her feel this kind of hatred towards Mr. Donald, President Donald J. Trump, okay? And also the things she was saying about his supporters, the people that was in favor of Trump, for what they felt would be the best leader for our country at this time. You know, it's just the timing with things. Certain people are just not built for to come against our enemies when it comes to our economy and certain other things that's been taking place in the United States of America with our immigrations. You know, people just flooding in here, and we don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who they are, and you know, it's not good to be bringing people to your home, and they could be total strangers. They could be murderers, killers, rapists, whatever that you bringing into your home. So you got to be very careful, and everybody needs to be vetted. Everybody needs some kind of research, or you have to do some kind of background check or whatever about people, even though you might not get everything, but at least get something, at least to make the decision whether or not you think they would be okay, if it's okay for them to be here in the United States of America. They need psychiatric, you know, they sometimes they need to go see somebody that can, you know, work on like things and know about what's going on in their head, even if they're not telling it to you. People that are specialists at that to examine them. They need to be examined, you know, and especially some of the things they might have, some things they may have um, adapted or been traumatized by from their own country, and they come into the United States of America. So you want to make sure people are well, wealth, they're going to be good, well citizens of our country. So you have to be very careful about who you bring into your country for security reasons, for safety reasons, or whatever. You never know. We got enough dealing with our own problems over here before we could take on anybody else's problems. For where they're coming to the United States with their problems, because not everybody's coming here leaving their country because of the government. A lot of people are just leaving their country because they're getting thrown out in some secret sort of kind of way, and because they have been against the government there, and they have treason, whatever, in their country, and when they feel that you're a threat to them, they try to take you out of here. They not only just take you out, but they try to take your whole family out. As simple as that. So you got to be very careful about how you address certain political agendas, and how you address it and the way you speak on it or whatever. And Joy, she was doing too much. She was really doing too much. And she was giving the warnings, because a lot of people were like, Joy, chill, take a sabbatical. If it's getting too much, try to take a sabbatical, get yourself some rest, get your mind some rest. Staying on that topic with Trump and Trump supporters, and saying all this crazy stuff, and ain't gonna hurt nobody but in the end but you. So you got to be very mindful of the things you say and do around politics, and especially when you speaking on one of the people that are in one of the most highest office of politics. So it's sad, and it does not make me feel like I want to rejoice in any kind of way that she was canceled, and she was replaced by a black woman, another black woman, another sister who probably got it all together and know how to keep it under control. If she want to share anything that has anything to do with, politics around Trump and around, the Democrats or the Republicans or whoever, Green Party or whatever how you got to say things, um, to your audience of listeners and viewers. Okay, so I just pray for her to heal from it all, and that she will learn from it all and move forward. Just move forward. It has happened. She's not the only person it has happened to, that had carried a big platform, that was a big um, so-called personality, or you want to say a person that actually is well known to to this to media, to media. And when I say media, I'm not only just talking about social media. I'm talking about large platforms, large media, mainstream line media platforms, and everything. So she's just one of those people that carried a very powerful place. Her voice, and the things she speak on to the public and to the community, and we want to get things done. Yes, but what people don't seem to realize, and when Biden was leaving office, he did say, "Let's have a peaceful, you know, transition of office or transition of power." Meaning, even those people who were in favor of him, let's do this at peace. Let's not keep hammering at it. Let's not get pumping things up and getting things riled up and pushing race agendas in that sort of way, because racism, we know it exists. But there's a time for everything. There is a time for everything. And right now, this really isn't the time to be pushing a race agenda. And I hear more, and I hate to say it, as much as I hate to say it, God knows I hate to say it like this. Every platform I go to on social media, when it comes things surrounding around Trump, of course there is a whole lot of his own of people that look like him, that don't like him, and of course it's a lot of us. because he said some things that made offended a lot of us. And I wasn't there to hear it. I didn't witness it or anything of that nature, only what people have said. And I'm being truthfully honest with you. I never heard him make any comment to me or about me or black people in general that I found offensive. And I'm just being straight up honest. And if it was said, I didn't hear it, so it wasn't meant for me to hear it. It wasn't meant for me. And that's the way I look at it. Even if he did say it, if he didn't say it in front of me, he didn't say it where I heard it, or it came my way of hearing it. Like I was actually at the time when he said it was there to hear it. So I wasn't a witness to it, and I wasn't there. So you gotta understand why I'm not hating on the man. you know why I'm not joining on the hate train, and I'm not a part of the hate bandwagon. All right. Um, Even when Biden was supposed to have said some certain things about us, about people of color or whatever, I wasn't there to hear it. I never heard it. I mean, not saying that I didn't hear it, because people gonna play on a platform. I got the receipts, and here's the receipts for you if you didn't remember this. See, I ain't doing all of that. It have to happen right then and there when it happened. And then I could probably feel a certain type of way at that time, or it could be still kind of like in me. But other than that, if I never heard it, and it's just not going to bother me, because it wasn't meant for me to hear it. I hope somebody out there in the chat understand what I'm talking about. Good morning to you all that are out there. Those of you who are out there, good morning to you. I'm not trying to bring you nothing negative. I'm just trying to help people to be more critical thinkers, and not go by everything you hear and don't like people because of what you heard about them, and then that stuff start eating you up like cancer, and that stuff start bothering you and making you go crazy like it just did Joy. She's not well behind her ignorance. I would say ignorance, because when she was being warned to get off those kind of conversations and stop talking about that stuff on your platform, or if you do want to talk about it in a kind way. Pick out the good stuff, that you can hope for and see happening for. Um, I know you have to be a certain kind of way because you serve on a certain type of party, but um, you can deny, say, look, that ain't me. I don't want to get involved with all of that. Let's just do this and get it over with. Let's just have this transition of power, and let us just move on. You know what I'm saying? But they want to keep drilling at it. And every time you turn around, they want to still keep calling the man, President Trump, a felon, and all these names they want to call him because of what he might have got in trouble with. I don't know. Things that people try to come at him for, stealing votes, and the things that had happened over at the Capitol when those people took upon themselves to go up there and riot and do the things that they did over the election of 20, what year was that, 2020? Over that election. So even when that was going on, I only heard snippets and bits of it. I didn't even see all the things that took place in that Capitol. I just know that it was during the time when it was COVID, and people barged in there and riot and beat up some people, or whatever had happened at that time. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't follow politics that deep. But when something is trending and something is like out there in the public right now, like something currently happening, I will try to come and bring my own opinion. And some of the things I did witness for myself, like with Joy Reid, I did witness her, going so hard and ranting all the time about the Trump supporters, and especially black people that were in favor of Trump, and saying that, we better wake up. You know what I'm saying? Because Trump going to do us in, and Trump is going to cancel Black History Month, and Trump is going to do this to Black American people. Trump can't do nothing because he's not the man in charge. God is in charge, and he already told you that. So he just answered to the assignment. He just answered to the assignment. Okay, God can use anybody, and I keep telling you that. That's why you gotta love your enemies, pray for your enemies, and all that other stuff. To have that B attitude. You can't do evil for evil and think you're gonna win. It ain't gonna work like that. It's not gonna work like that. You can't go and do evil for evil because it ain't gonna win, and you can't listen to people who go around and put slander out about a person. See, I try to mind my business, and that can happen to anybody, even at your little job that you have. You have a job there working in Burger King, and you got a hater. They're gonna say you were stealing money out the cash register, and it could have been them doing it, but they gonna try to blame you for it. You know what I'm saying? You got people in the world like that, So be careful to who you believe and who you listen to. Just because they look like you, do you think they believable? Not always. Not always. So you got to judge people on character and merit, and not judge people by the content and the color of their skin. You can't do that, and you can't keep putting everything on race. Every time something is happening, you went to Yale University. Like a whole lot of Black Americans didn't get that opportunity to go to a prestigious school like Yale University. I don't know what you study. You probably study political science there, or political law, or whatever it was that you studied at Yale, Ivy League school, and nobody holds you back. How did you get in there? But you telling Black people they being discriminated against, but you should be the last person to talk about discrimination for a graduate from Yale University, and probably graduated at the top of your class. So right there, you fraud, and you telling lies to Black people of being discriminated. Because if Black people were discriminated, you would have never stepped foot in Yale, no matter what. No affirmative, whatever would have been there um, to protect you. You would never have made it to Yale if you weren't good at what you believed you were good at. And that's just the whole story is nobody can hurt you but you. Okay? You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe, you got to, delete all that negativity of what happened in the past and move on to the marvelous light. Move on to something better and greater and amazing. You don't sit up there and dwell on that stuff. That stuff is sickening. It's just some movies. I sometimes I'd say, oh, let me go watch a movie like Harriet Tubman, or let me watch one of these old slave movies. Sometimes I get a feeling. Let me go look back at my ancestry or some of the history that happened towards that time. But remember, this is Hollywood. So of course, to make it even more hype, they got to throw some other stuff in there. See, I wasn't there. I didn't live through that experience. You understand? But I'm the blessing that came from it. I'm the blessing that came from them because I'm here. I didn't go through that stuff. I didn't have to experience going to being busted into a school and experience some. I had a conversation with somebody about that, a coworker of mine, and she was like, she had grew up with sort of kind of like racism and racist people and stuff because she grew up in the state of Pennsylvania, whatever. I didn't. I grew up in New York. I grew around systematic racism, like discriminate, like that kind of racism, like Eleanor Bumpur's time when she got killed, the mentally ill Black woman who was shot dead and killed in her apartment by the police. And matter of fact, Eleanor Bumper was a neighbor before. She lived with one of my around up in a building in New York. One of my relatives, okay, was familiar with Eleanor Bumper's the family because they grew up in her neighborhood at the time in the Bronx. And she says, "Oh, that was sad what they did. It was very sad what they did to that mentally ill woman, elderly woman. That was horrible." Of course, I grew up around that type of ignorance and that type of violence at a time in New York, and the little lion chick that went and told when all of this stuff was going on. She had hype it up a little bit more and say that some white police officer or somebody took her somewhere and she was supposedly been defecated on and raped and all the Tawana Burley story. I remember when that took place. I was there living in New York during that time. But see, I didn't let that stuff stay in me. I see it for what it was at the time it was, and I don't let it stay in me. Just a couple of days ago, we was just celebrating the life of our, you know, loss of Trayvon Martin. You know, that killing that took place with George Zimmerman, and I remember Joy Reid actually covering some part of this story before. I remember when she was covering the story. That's when she was fresh and new, and and she was good, you know. But during this election, something happened. Something happened to Joy, you know. Something happened to Joy. Being around and influenced by the job that she do and the people she surrounds herself with and the conversation she got involved with and people she allowed to be in her head. Because being in network is sort of, especially on that sort of level of network, it's not an easy place in the job. You got to go find stories that you got to keep up with, and you got to make it for people to listen and get people's attention. And how you got to make some things that are not true sound true. You know what I'm saying? Just for the place, the people, the company, or whoever you working for. And some things that just don't feel good that you're doing your job to do it, and it's just not a easy place to be. But we're gonna pray for Joy Reid, and hopefully that God will have greater things for her in the future. A job where she can be more honest about who she is and not be somebody else puppet or somebody else pulling the strings behind her and making her say things she really don't really mean from her heart to say, but she's saying it because they're gonna. If she don't say it, it's gonna cost her job. It's do you do, you do if you don't do. She would have been better off going down like this. Like, look, they wanted me to be on this racial stuff, but I'm not on that stuff. I'm gonna do it, and I just want what's best for blah 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 for everyone. I would have better off had a lawsuit against them, going at them for what they trying to put me out to do, bullying me or whatever behind the scene, other than going after Trump. I would have had a better chance of going after MSNBC than going after Trump. That's you would have played. You would have won better on that side, on the right side. But no, you ain't. And not saying Trump is 100% right. Not saying that. I'm just saying the right side of doing the right thing to try to shed some light. Like, oh, we want to be peaceful, so we ain't gonna talk all that stuff. Don't be behind the nonsense that these people had her pushed up to do. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, y'all, I'm getting myself ready and dressed and stuff for to go to work. I'm sorry if I can't put my face to the camera at this moment, but I am. See, this is the best I can do. Right, trying to get ready for work. Hi, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Yeah. So, I'm getting myself together for work and trying to make sure I'm looking at the time so I can get out of here. Okay. Yeah, so what I'm saying to you all is that you can't listen to everything they put out there, they pump out there. And what happened to Joy Reid, this is the video I'm going to show you right now, a clip of it from another channel. I'm going to let you from Forbes or whatever, and I'm going to let you hear her speak on how her platform was supposed to have been valuable. Valuable.
You and value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I think this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end,
Tonight will be. Okay. That was from the Megan Kelly channel, speaking on this thing with Joy Reid or whatever. And Joy Reid, she actually did it to herself. She has, and let that be a warning to a whole lot of other people that get on their platform. Whether you're a black woman, whether you're a white woman, whether you're a black man, or whether you are a white man, there are just certain things that should not be acceptable to speak on your platform. Some things you got to keep to yourself. You know, you just got to. Or when you open your mouth and you speak on it, just look for the repercussions. Okay, there's consequences. And Joy Reid felt like she was safe in a safe place to speak on that. She felt like her platform was safe. She felt her MSNBC crew members or whoever, her team supporters, whoever, were gonna back her up. And I mean, I'm sure there's some that's probably really not really pleased about the decision that was made. But trust me, they're gonna talk for a minute about how they feel, and they're gonna let it go. Cause guess what? They don't want to be next. They're gonna try to hide and avoid your phone calls, and they're gonna do whatever they can to not take part of your downfall. Because that's how people are. People do that to you. Boy, you get them. They be sitting up there, yeah, yeah, yeah. And the next thing you know, they go hide their hands somewhere. They go hide away somewhere. And then they won't want to have no conversation with you. And they try to throw you under the bus, whatever. That's what they do. So you just got to be careful. Let this be an experience for Joy. I don't know how old she is. I know I might be maybe a little older than Joy. And about it, she probably about in the same age category as me. And then when you're going through that 50 something, you're gonna go, you sometimes just sometimes just um feel a certain type of way. You just feel a certain. But let it be a blessing more than a curse for her. That burden has been released. She don't have to be a part of that nonsense anymore. She can now start on and move into other things in her life that could be more valuable, and have a good life, a nice, quiet, good life. And everybody don't have to know what Joy is doing and where she's at, and her name don't have to be, you know, bullied around on the internet. That's all I'm saying. Let it look at it as a blessing more than a curse. So she should be rejoicing. They say weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning. So she did her weeping last night, so her joy is here. Just give it some time. She'll have her joy back. And the thing is also, remember this has happened to Wendy Williams, speaking on certain things that she shouldn't have been speaking on. But come to find out, now the same people that she was speaking on, calling them out, became her friends. Like right now, I'm pretty sure her Diddy or whatever wants to have some kind of connection with her. But Wendy, she gone now. Her mind is After she did to the last one, and I ain't gonna mention his name right now. After she did what she did to him, it was the last of Wendy Williams. Be careful how you try to take people down and hurt people. And do it under somebody else's command, under somebody else's mind. They playing with your mind and putting things into you to say about a person. You know how many people try to get me to talk against President Trump and say things. Oh, that man is, when I say, you know what, I don't want to hear it because I didn't hear it when he said it and I wasn't there, so it wasn't meant for me to hear. So don't even come and bring that stuff to me. Same thing that happened with R. Kelly. Don't come and talk about that infamous day. I didn't watch no garbage like that. You up here talking about he with young girls peeing on young girls, but you sitting there watching it. You sat there and you actually went to look for the bootleg tape so you could see something like that. So what does that say? So what does that say about you? When you go and that's why I don't like being a tattletale. Ooh, girl, let me tell you what I saw. Gossip. It's not good. Tattletale, going and trying to hurt other people so you can look good. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. What you need to do is, if you do see it and it's happening in front of you, is that you need to step up and say something about it then and address it. Don't wait till you get into a room full of people and everything, and you already had the discussion, you already spoke to them, and then you got something to say and go out there and say, I told you so, and I said it, and I did. And you want to put a person on blast like that when they already feeling beat up and beat down. I'm not on this bandwagon with Joy to make her feel bad. I want to let her know that there's consequences for some of the things we say and do on a platform, especially when we dealing with network and media, and you are sitting on a platform which is very well known and powerful, one of the, I would say, mainline media platforms, and you speaking stuff like that about your government. It's just not good. Some things you just got to learn how to talk around and not be so blunt with it. So anyway, y'all, I gotta go. It's been a blessing here with you all. You all have a blessed and wonderful and safe day. And if God's willing, I may or may not come back with you later on. I may or may not. Please hit the like button if you are in the chat before you leave out of this channel. And those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. And those of you who may be viewing and listening to this conversation right now on this live, I appreciate your feedback, how you feel about this canceling of Joy Reid. And let's not do negative things here, because I'm not on that kind of train to say yes, I'm happy it happened to her. No, I'm not happy it happened to her, because I did say before, and I wrote something on my post, that when all of this was taking place, how I felt then that she needed a sabbatical. She needed some rest from what she's doing and stuff, so she can do some time, take some time, and examine herself. That if this is coming from her, or is this coming from somebody else on her? Somebody else is doing this. Dang, this is crazy. I'm sorry I lost you at 7:45 in the morning. At 7:45 in the morning, y'all. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to the story, y'all. Okay, so anyway, y'all. Mm, I just pray for Joy. Pray her strength in the Lord. That God will strengthen her, comfort her, and renew her strength in her heart and her spirit. In Jesus' name.